right, today we're at Fifth Third Bank, Fort Myers, Florida, playing host to a very special guest, NASCAR race car number 17, driver's Chris Buescher. Okay, today we've got with us, going to interview what I call the keeper of the car, but you don't call yourself that. What do you call yourself?
Actually, I'm a show car department for Roush Fenway, and what we do is all the special events. We travel around to conventions, we do the commercials, the photo shoots with the actual show car. But all of our show cars are actually retired race cars. So they do have the engine in them, and this one will still do 200 mile an hour.
Well, you didn't quite do that when you brought it off of the trailer.
No, I don't have enough room here to really let it go, and I might get in trouble at home, so I gotta be careful.
This is quite a tour you're on right now. It started in Durham. All the race car fans will know that, and it's going to end up in Daytona, and everybody really knows that one, with only 10 stops, I think, in between.
Actually, there's 11 stops total in 6 days.
So how was Fort Myers so blessed?
Well, they got a couple of newest branches, and they wanted to cover the west side of Florida as well as end up in the east side at the race.
Yeah, and Fifth Third is a major corporate sponsor.
Oh, one of our biggest, and been in partnership with us for quite a long time.
And that's great. So what I'd like to do, I think a lot of people are like me. I mean, they've seen these race cars going around a large oval at 200 miles an hour, but I've never had the opportunity to actually touch one and be up close and personal, so to speak.
Actually, we can actually get in this one. We're allowed to. Jack Roush don't allow people to actually in the car as much, but this one was special made for Fifth Third, so people could sit in it and actually get the real feel. Actually see the tires, what they're shaped like, how come they don't have any tread on them, and actually get a peek at the engine.
Yeah.
Only this one here has got a carburetor in it. Reason being is because we start and stop it so much for our commercials. So it would mess up the fuel injection if we did that. But that's actually a live racing engine.
All right, we're going to take a look at this engine. I think it's 358 cubes, isn't it?
No, it's actually 351.
Yep.
As it starts out with the block and everything, Ford engine. Roush Yates actually builds all the Ford racing engine for every Ford team. And then their engineers actually get a hold of them. As you can see, this one here's got a carburetor on it. Again, we talked about that before because we start and stop it. The actual race car is actually fuel injected. Other than that, this is ready to go to the track.
How fast will it go?
This one here, we had it up to about 198 with the carburetor.
Now, we talk about cubic inches because I think isn't that one of the rules that every car is limited to the number of cubic inches they can have?
Yes, actually NASCAR sets that depending on year to year and actually even race to race. If somebody's dominating, they'll switch it. Just like the horsepower. We're at 650 horsepower now. We used to be at 900, but we were going so fast the guys were actually wrecking without even touching each other. So they actually slowed it down. But again, the engineers got a hold of it and they're still hitting 200 mile an hour.
Well, that's fantastic. Is there anything special that I see, like why all this?
Well, the main thing is if you notice all the quick connects on all the engine parts, what that does is we can change one of these out and have it back on the track in 25 minutes.
Okay. All right, so this would be typically, I think, the most expensive part on a race car.
Yeah, you're looking at right around $100,000 for an engine, and it's one race, and it's done.
Yeah.
And then the engineers get a hold of it, they analyze it, then they melt it down. And then that's the end of that engine.
And probably on an important race day, there's more than one engine sitting in the garage.
Yeah, we actually got the race car, and then you got the backup, and then actually a capability of building a third car without the body on the hauler at every race. But if you get into that third engine, I guarantee you there's going to be a nice meeting on Monday with Jack Roush.
All right, and the other thing I think is another big expense is the tire, and actually you get a pretty good look at the tires from inside the hood here. So yeah, I see no tread.
No, there's no tread. If they actually had tread on this going around the ovals, they would actually crash. You want as much rubber hitting the pavement as possible. These are 17-inch tires. Now next year we're going to go to an 18-inch tire. And they're right at $500 a piece. You're looking at $2,000 every time they change a tire coming in for a pit stop.
And they're not made like our home car. I mean, they're just literally layer after layer after layer. And is steel involved in those?
No, you can actually see the layers of the actual rubber right here. So once it gets down to there, they're actually done. Okay. And that's up to the engineer and stuff to be testing that, and the crew chief to find out if they're going to do 2 tires, 4 tires, adjust the air pressure, and that's all done during the course of the race.
Is there a way to monitor the condition of the tires, or does the driver determine that on feel?
Well, he can feel it. That's part of it. But what happens when he comes in for the pit stop, there's actually an engineer. Once they get on the other side of the wall, he melts it down and actually measured each part of the tread to see where it's rubbing and actually where the wear is. And what happens is the next time they come in, it might be a half a pound of pressure in the rights, might be a full pound, depending on the wear and stuff. But that's his only job during the course of a race.
Well, that's one heck of a beautiful engine, I'll tell you. Now, what are these 3 holes I see in the back window here?
Well, actually, you see the orange one is called the track bar. That adjusts the actual rear end on which way it's going, depending on what's going on at the track. And that's what the driver's communicating to the crew chief. Is it loose in turn 1? Is it tight? And they're going to make an adjustment. The driver can actually make an inch and a half adjustment with it. He has a little toggle switch in there where he can do that and he can get a feel. Most of the time, the drivers actually fix it. But if he can't, when they come in to change a tire, they're going to make the major adjustment in the pit stop. Now this other one over here is the wedge adjustment, which is the springs. And that's basically the same type of thing. We're looking at more and more downforce to keep the car on the track. If it's getting too loose or something, we got to change that wedge adjustment, and that's what that's for.
All right. Okay, now is there anything about the distance off the ground? I mean...
Yeah. Up here on the splitter, if you'll notice, we're about 4.5 inches. What that is, so we can get it on and off my trailer. Actually, when we're racing, we're going to have this almost touching the pavement. And what we're doing with that is making sure the air does not go underneath the car, because if the air goes under the car, it's actually going to fly. So we're trapping the air to go up over the car and channel it to go to the rear end for downforce.
Is there a larger or different shaped scoop on the front also?
No, it's exactly the same. It's just our adjustment on it, how close we want to get it to the actual ground.
Okay. So let's look at the inside. I know some things are a little bit different, and you know what? I don't even know how many speeds this car has.
Okay. Shifter is just a straight 4-speed transmission with a reverse. First, second, third, and fourth. And obviously we got the clutch in there, and that's why sometimes on our restarts you'll see them slip off that clutch, and then they'll drop 4 or 5 spots before they get back up to speed. So that's part of stock car racing.
Well, this has been a real help to me to learn this from you, because I haven't been in the dark.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm with Jim Weiss, and he's the regional president of Fifth Third Bank, which covers what area, Jim?
I'm president of our South Florida region, so that covers everything from Sarasota to Naples on the west coast, and then Miami back up to West Palm on the east coast.
What brings you to this branch today?
We're here today showcasing the Fifth Third Bank car. This is an 11-stop tour for us with our Fifth Third Bank car. We're proud partners with Roush Fenway, who owns this car, and will be driving this car. Our driver, Chris Buescher, will be showcased in the Coke 0400 race in Daytona this weekend.
Okay, that's great. My question to you was, this is an 11-stop tour.
Yes, sir.
Fort Myers, Florida is not really well known for racetracks. How were you able to get the car here? This is a famous car.
Absolutely, thank you very much. And we were able to get it here because the entire Southeast, and including Florida, is an important strategy for Fifth Third Bank. We continue to grow and are rapidly growing. We've got 7 more branches going to be opening in this area alone between now and the end of the year. And so getting the message out about what we're doing and the growth that we're experiencing here was important to us. This is one of our new de novo branches, with the next gen and a very different approach inside. And we wanted to showcase that and showcase our partnership with Roush Fenway.
So, what do you think of my new car? Well, y'all have a great day, and I'll